Hey AuthorTube, my name is Lauren Severe and today I am going to be talking about Boston Harbor level AuthorTube tea party going on. I needed something stronger than tea, so me and my rainbow shrimp, we brought wine. Anyway, I just want to make one thing very clear before I get into this video. I made this solely for the purpose of me and anyone who subscribes or views these videos, because I think that there's a lot of ethical issues that are going to be discussed about all of this tea and everything later, and it's something that I feel I want people who trust me enough to watch my videos and to subscribe to my videos, I want them to know exactly where I stand on these issues, just because I want them to know who I am. I want to be authentic. I want to be genuine. I don't want to be disingenuous at all. And so that is the purpose of this, not to like bully anyone or to stir up stuff that's already been said on Twitter and Facebook and in the AuthorTubers group and everything else. Because I feel like I've been pretty clear about the way that I feel on things there, but still felt the need to make this video on the off chance that there's somebody who subscribes or watches who has no idea what's going on and who may not understand the ethical issues that are being discussed / debated in the AuthorTube community right now. So first things first, I came back from a hiatus into this mess and bulk filmed a bunch of videos that I was editing this week with the plan that the first video that I would be like premiering would be like my comeback video, and then some subsequent like tags and stuff that I did that, you know, people like other AuthorTubers and stuff tagged me in and I was like super excited about. Well, this is probably going to be my first video, so I'm really sorry if any content after this is anticlimactic as a result. But yeah, I came back to this, and quite frankly, there were things that were being discussed that fundamentally as a person, I didn't feel that I couldn't comment on in this public forum. Yeah, another justification for this video. Anyway, had a little bit of rainbow shrimp here already. So also I want to say that my number one concern in all of this is for the fans, is for the viewers, is for the people who read our books and, you know, are wanting to watch our videos. And those people are the ones that I'm advocating for the most. And so I do want to say that that is where I feel so passionate. I'm in the healthcare industry as my day job, and I've been in customer service in one field or another for the past 15 years. And so caring about other people, caring about the little guy, that's something that's like ingrained in me. Just as a person, I care about other people. It's a cornerstone of my personality. It's a cornerstone of who I am, and that's not going to change. So that is why I think I felt motivated to do a lot of this. And I just wanted to clear that up. This isn't like a selfish thing. It's not like a vendetta thing. It's not anything like that. I'm honestly just concerned about other people. And that's why I want to discuss the ethical issues that have been brought to everyone's attention lately on AuthorTube. I have a little outline here. So if you keep watching me go to the side, it's because like I don't want to get off track and ramble and make this video too long, so I wrote like little points. Anyway, so the issue at hand, let's talk about that. There is a pretty prolific, especially considering that currently I only have 30 subscribers to my channel, so I'm, you know, not a very well-known YouTuber / AuthorTuber, whatever, but there's a pretty prolific YouTube / AuthorTuber named Kristin Martin, and she basically coached, and this is the word that I am using based on my experience from watching her video and my personal opinion, but in my opinion, she was coaching her viewers after like a certain video because she had a new book coming out, that if they wanted to purchase an ARC, what's an ARC? It's an advanced reader copy of her next book that's being published. If you wanted to purchase or receive one of these ARCs, you had to sign up on her Patreon page. What is a Patreon page? A Patreon page is where you can like sign up to support monetarily your favorite YouTubers, creators, authors, musicians, whatever. And there's like different tiers, and like, you know, like platinum level tier would be like the highest, and like then entry level tier would be like the lowest, and some people have like as low as $1 a month. Like, it's not a big deal. And YouTubers a lot have this, and she does. And she said, hey, to get my ARC of my new book, you have to sign up as a patron on my Patreon page at the highest tier, which is $50 a month. $50 a month. And you have to be in good standing for 3 months. So you have to subscribe by a certain date so that your first payment can process here, and then your second payment can process here, and your third payment can process here. And then once you've been in good standing for 3 months and 3 payments have processed, then I'm going to send you an ARC of my book that's coming out the very next month. So essentially she wants, because the definition of selling something is to trade a physical good or a service for money, which is what she was doing. She's saying, sign up for Patreon, the subscription, do it for 3 months, and then I will give you a good. So that is essentially selling an ARC for $150, which it does not cost $150 for a paperback or a hardback of any book, anywhere, maybe ever. I might be wrong. Maybe there's some that are like bound in gold somewhere or something, but $150 for a book 3 to 4 weeks before it's about to be released anyway is an exorbitant amount of money. So that is the issue that AuthorTube has sort of been outcrying lately, because here's the thing that a lot of people who don't write books or, you know, aren't in the publishing industry or whatever don't know. ARCs, advanced reader copies, remember, are normally unfinished versions of what the published book is going to be. These are used as marketing tools by self-published or indie authors who purchase them and send them to people in exchange only for an honest review of their work, or publishers will send these to other authors and industry people in exchange for an honest review of the work of the book. So when you go to Barnes & Noble, you go to a brick and mortar store, and you're looking around and you're like, you know, I haven't read anything in fiction for a while. Let me go see what's good. And there you see this book, and on the cover of the book it says like, and this is all hypothetical, okay, but it says like, Stephanie Meyer, the author of the Twilight series, said this was the best thing since sliced bread. The reason she said it was the best thing since sliced bread is because a publisher or author sent her an ARC. She read it, and then in exchange for getting this advanced copy and reading it, she gave them an honest review of what she really felt. So whenever people put on their websites or their book covers or their blurbs or whatever, hey, this person's feedback was great. This was what they said. They said this was the next greatest American novel, whatever. And if you know that person, or even if you don't know that person, you're like, next greatest American novel, I want to read that, let me buy that. That is what an ARC is for, okay? Unbiased, third-party reviews that you can use in a marketing campaign. ARCs are given away to reviewers for free. A lot, I'm not going to say all, a lot of indie publishers, self-published authors are basically banging down the doors of people trying to get people to read ARCs and give reviews so that they can have things to say when they market their book for publication. Because when they do, and because of the buzz, it helps their book sales, which essentially helps them pay for the investment for the book if they're self-published, or helps them essentially maybe get another printing or be able to get a second book deal out of this or whatever if they're traditionally published. And so The problem that everyone is having is that when arcs are typically given for free, and then you ask for $150, a 3-month subscription, $50 a month, which is $150 for this book, a lot of the authors who are self-published, indie published, and traditionally published, by the way, or yet to be published and aspiring to sending arcs to people and begging people to beta and read their stuff. All of these people have been not all, a lot of these people have been very, very upset by the fact that she is essentially selling her arcs because the readers don't know what is normal in the publishing industry. They don't understand that this is something normally given away for free, and that not only is it an exorbitant amount of money to ask for from your viewers, but it's an exorbitant amount of money that you shouldn't be asked for in the first place. You shouldn't be asked for anything but your honest opinion. And so that is the crux of all of the AuthorTube tea. Okay, there's been a couple of videos on this. I will admit I was not the first person on this bandwagon. There were a couple of response videos because honestly, I don't watch Kristin Martin's content a lot. I saw a few videos in the past, didn't appeal to me. That's my prerogative. I didn't like her advice. I didn't feel like it applied to me. I didn't feel like I connected with it. That's fine. That's my opinion. I never wished her poorly. I never wished not success for her, anything like that. I still don't. I want her to be successful and happy and whatever. Okay. So this is also, let me caveat this with, this was brought to, I think, the AuthorTube community's attention because of Kristin Martin's video and everything, but I think that it raises ethical concerns that everyone is concerned about across the board. So even though we're specifying things that Kristin did, this is not directed at her. I will say part of this video is a little bit directed at her because it regards her response to everything, which will be a little later on. However, the issues that I would like to address and speak about aren't exclusive to Kristin Martin. It's things that I think that we should be thinking about on AuthorTube as a whole. So I do want to say that this is not hate. It is not bullying. I may be using these specific things just as examples and to reference, but these are community-wide things that I think we really need to be thinking about and talking about more specifically. So anyway, so that's the arc issue that is sort of the main crux of the issue that's going on AuthorTube right now. The fact that arcs are free, the fact that charging $150 for one when it costs you maybe $5.50 to print one, and then shipping. That's an exorbitant amount of money to ask of anyone, especially young and impressionable fans or fans that don't know any better because they're not familiar with the publishing industry, and so they don't know that they're being taken advantage of. The other issue with the ARC thing that was kind of going on with Kristin Martin's video, and this is something that was also widely discussed by a lot of AuthorTubers, is the fact that because ARCs are normally given to third-party, unbiased people, people in the industry, authors, whatever, in exchange for an honest review, because these were marketed. I mean, really marketed. In the video, she says, go on there, do this, and then you'll get an ARC. Well, it wasn't. I could be wrong. She maybe just didn't put this in the video. Okay, and I'm going to give Kristin the benefit of the doubt, okay? Because again, I'm not hating, I'm not bullying. But in the video, and to my knowledge, to date, and there's been a lot of comments and a lot of stuff and whatever, to my knowledge to date, she has not offered this to people who are not patrons on her Patreon, paying $50 a month to support her. So, if someone is a big enough fan of you to spend $50 a month or $150 for a paperback of your book, do you really think that you're going to get an honest, unbiased review of your work? So this is another issue that AuthorTube kind of took with this is, okay, if you're giving ARCs to fans, to people who are professed to be your fans, to people who are willing to spend $150, to get this book, then, these reviews are going to be overwhelmingly positive, which means that all of your marketing for this book is going to be overwhelmingly positive and pretty biased and disingenuous, which then leads on future people who want to buy this book and make sales for you. You're sort of leading them on a little bit too, because the source material that you gathered was not done authentically. It was not done genuinely. And that is a concern too, ethically. If we're just going to make up or pay for reviews, there's an easier way to do it than announcing it on YouTube and then thinking that none of us are going to think that that's strange, I mean, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I can follow basic logic. And so, when you say, hey, pay $150 and then you get an ARC of my book and I'll get a review from you, an honest, unbiased one. No offense, unless I think the sun shines out your rear end, I'm not paying $150 for your book. And so if I review your book, I'm going to tell you the sun shines out your rear end, even if it doesn't, I mean, it's not rocket surgery. Yes, I said rocket surgery. I think that's ironic and funny. I'm not, just too much into the rainbow shrimp. Anyway, moving on. So another issue that came about, and this is more geared towards the way that Kristin Martin reacted to people on AuthorTube, sort of going, hey, that's not cool. ARCs aren't $150. This is a little disingenuous. Hey, you need to rethink this. And they started commenting on her YouTube video. And they started making some response videos like the ones that I'm going to link down below, which I think were done very well. The ones that I watched that brought my attention to the issue. Anyway, so whenever all this is going on, and these are, mind you, these are not just fans too. These are other people who make videos on YouTube, who share viewers, who share the same struggles, who share the same just issues, who are struggling to get ARCs to people, who are, indie publishers, who are traditionally published authors. These are essentially colleagues. And so essentially colleagues are going, hey, maybe you didn't intend for this to come off in an ethically questionable manner, but it's ethically questionable and maybe you need to look at that, okay? And let me tell you, there were a couple of people who name called a little, who were a little mean. I mean, but that was not until later, okay? But a lot of these people were civil, they were constructive, they were not rude, they were not ugly, okay? I read a lot of the comments, I know, firsthand, that they were succinct, they were to the point, they weren't, coming from a place of, we hate you and we want to bully you and we're mean. They were coming from a place of, hey, whoa, what's going on? Can you explain this to me or talk to me about this? Because this is not okay in my book. This is ethically questionable and we really need to talk about it. Anyway, so what happened next was she posted some inflammatory, man. Is that the word I want to use? She posted some, what is the word I want to use? As a wordsmith, I should know. Give me a second. Let's just say it. Condescending and sarcastic and mean tweets. She did. She basically called anyone who disagreed with her, other author tubers, people who also had significant followings, people who, came from a place of care and constructive criticism, people who came from a place of professionalism and politeness. She basically called us all idiots. Yeah, that's pretty much what she did. She called us all idiots. She said that she also diminished our concerns. Sorry, I swear I'm having an issue talking, like brain to mouth today. But she diminished our concerns by saying there were like 7 people who massively misunderstood how Patreon works. Then she proceeded to explain to us how Patreon works as if we don't know, and as if most of us don't have Patreon pages and patrons. Then she goes on from there to say, don't believe everything you see on the internet or read. Educate yourselves. To like top off the salty sundae. Okay? And the thing is, I can understand if this is like all coming at you at once, how you can get in your feelings and you can like react poorly in the moment. But it wasn't negative criticism. It was constructive criticism, and it wasn't coming at her all at once. There were videos that were made days ago, weeks ago. I mean, this has been a trickle that she hasn't addressed. It kind of hit critical mass. And then instead of going, oh, hey, yeah, let's talk. I don't feel the same way that you do. Because you're not, I mean, it's your channel. If you want to sell ARCs for $150, go for it. Our issues were, hey, do you know you're doing this? Because you should probably let your readers and your viewers know that you're doing this, so it doesn't look like we're all doing this when we try to market our books and stuff. Yeah. So that was in poor taste. It was in poor taste, in my opinion. The way that she reacted, the fact that she basically called us all idiots. Again, she didn't use the word idiots, so anyone who's going to try and like argue with me on a technicality, I'm using that as a generalization to paraphrase the issue because I don't want to go back and read the tweets, okay? But anyway, so she has these tweets that was sort of like when everything really popped off, these tweets. Everyone was like, are you kidding me? Like, this girl right here, not only is she like doing things that are questionable, but instead of actually engaging in a conversation with anyone, she's like gonna call us all stupid, right? So that was handled poorly. It was handled poorly. It just was. It was not professional at all. And do you have to be professional with people on Twitter, people you've never met on YouTube? Maybe not, but it's just nice to be considered like a person. And the reason I'm saying that is for what happens next, which is really the reason that I got very upset. She went on a deleting and blocking tirade, okay? So she gets these comments on the tweets because they're sarcastic and they're, kind of mean and really just diminishing concerns for people who genuinely had like genuine ethical concerns on the community. And she decided all of them were going to be blocked. Anyone who disagreed with her, even if it was civilly and politely, was blocked from her Twitter. And then she went on her YouTube video that we posted the comments on originally and deleted them all because, our voices don't matter, essentially. Because, I don't know, because she felt that it was appropriate that if she didn't want to hear something, then she just was going to make it not exist on the internet anymore. But that's not exactly how the internet works. I felt really personally offended by this. And I feel offended by this because I do not believe in censorship. And this is what really had me. It had me in my feelings, more than the ARC thing, more than anything else, okay? Yeah, those are issues. Yeah, let's bring them up. But essentially, at the end of the day, Your YouTube channel is your YouTube channel, and you can market whatever you want, however you want, because it's a free country, because you have the freedoms to do whatever you want. And even if I bring it up, if you never want to acknowledge me or whatever, I mean, eventually I just got to let it go and deal with it, right? But when you censor me, okay, as a writer, as a YouTuber, okay, especially you as a prolific writer and YouTuber with a following, with people who watch your videos, you have, I don't even know how exactly I want to say this. You have a responsibility, okay, as somebody who directly benefits from your First Amendment right in the United States of America to say whatever you want and to write whatever you want and to put it on the internet and to sell it yourself and to market it yourself. And as somebody who directly benefits from your YouTube channel and your voice and being able to use your voice as a writer, for you to take away the voice of other people, the opinions of other people doing the same exact thing is not only hypocritical, I find it completely abhorrent. I find it reprehensible, morally reprehensible. I do not believe in censorship. Even if I don't agree with somebody else's opinion, I agree with the fact that it is their right to give it. And even if they think, hey, Lauren, you've been on your high horse too much on this video, I'm not going to like it, I'm going to put a nasty comment on it, that's fine too. Whatever you want to do, because you know what? It's your voice, and it's your opinion, and it's your right. It is your right to express yourself. And I found that moment when she really started like blocking and deleting people's comments and deleting their concerns and just acting like they didn't exist, first of all, it restricts the flow of information. So maybe some of her viewers that didn't know anything about ARCs or didn't know about what is common practice for ARCs, maybe they still would have purchased it or done the $50 a month Patreon page to get that ARC because they're just a fan of hers. But at least then they would have known the other side and made an educated decision. So you're restricting the flow of information for your viewers, and you're silencing who essentially are your colleagues on AuthorTube and their voices and their opinions. Okay, and then you posted a video about, oh, so much hate on AuthorTube and I'm sending light and love out in the world and all this stuff. How disingenuous can you be? Okay, there are so many people in this world who would be lucky, who would count themselves so lucky to be able to have the freedom that you have, to give your opinion so easily. People who are marginalized, people who are just kicked in the dirt every day. And I'm never going to be okay with censorship, okay? Even if you disagreed with us, that's fine. Disagree. Have an opinion. But censoring us, really? Like that, I can't condone. That I do say, Kristin, shame on you. Everything else is debatable. Everything else brings up ethical issues for the community. You know, what do we care about? What is acceptable? What is not acceptable? You know, what are the norms? What are whatever? And these are discussions to have, and these are good points to bring up within our community, not just specifically with you. It just was brought up because of this incident, but shame on you for censoring your fellow AuthorTubers. I mean, honestly, shame on you for being so disrespectful to your viewers, to your followers, that you didn't think that they would still want to support you if they heard the other side, which is the only thing I can assume because you're not saying anything, you know? So I want to end this video on a positive note because I know this has been a rant. I know it has. I will say this. I am filming an original tag video that I made with Katharine Francis. It's called an AuthorTube transparency tag. I'm right about to film it, and I will be posting it shortly after this one. I have not edited this video either, by the way, so I'm sorry if it was long and rambly and I paused too much and said too much. I'm just getting this out there. And anyway, basically, I want to end this video on a positive note. What I hope comes of all of this, I hope that, Kristin, you understand that censoring your fellow AuthorTubers is not okay under any circumstances, that you need to have open and honest conversations, especially when you're a public figure, when it regards ethics in the community. I hope that that's what comes from this. If you'd like to have a conversation with me, like just a one-on-one conversation, we could do it live, we could do it in private. I would love to hear from you. So just putting that out there, not in like a I want to attack you kind of way, more in a let's talk about these issues and see what miscommunication happened between you and the rest of the community that this became such a big deal. Like, let's put this to bed. Let's actually talk about it and vent about it and get it out in the open and, you know, get things settled once and for all. I would love that. So gonna put that out there for you, Kristin. I also want to say that out of all of this nastiness that happened and the, you know, dishonesty and, you know, disingenuous nature, the censorship, all of that, what I really hope happens from this is something positive. I hope that we keep talking about the issues of censorship and transparency and credentials. So that's something that I want to tell you, my viewers, my subscribers who are my heroes, even though there's only like 30 of you, you guys are rock stars and I love you. And I'm never going to disrespect your time. I'm never going to disrespect your money. And if I ever offer a service or a product in the future, I'm going to be 100% transparent with you, okay? If I offer you a writing class, guess what? You're going to know about what training or experience I have, that I feel that it's valued at, whatever, okay? And if you can't pay that, that's going to be fine. You know, I'm not going to try and use gimmicks or marketing schemes to try and make money. We all want to make money in this industry. We all want to be self-sufficient and able to live our lives solely based on our writing and nothing else. I think that that is a goal of every single writer that I've ever met, that they would love to just work on their craft and not have to do anything else. And the only way they could do that would be if they make a livable wage doing it. So, I mean, I think we're all in the same boat in that regard, but there's a way to do it that is honest, authentic, genuine, that isn't going to rip people off, especially the people who are normally minors, normally, you know, people who don't know a lot about the industry, and normally people who support you wholeheartedly and have for a very long time. And so yeah, my last part of this message is really to you, the viewer, whoever you may be. If you are another AuthorTuber, if you are a subscriber of mine, if you are somebody who just came across this, your time is important. You should know the credentials of the people on YouTube that you are purchasing goods and services from. And if someone is not willing to be genuine and authentic and transparent with you, beware. Anyway, that was the Boston Harbor level tea party from AuthorTube this week. I am going to hang out with my good friend, the Rainbow Shrimp, now, and I hope y'all have a great night. I will also say, God, I feel like I've said that a couple of times now. Really, this is the last thing. Katharine Francis and I did what we called an AuthorTube transparency tag. I am going to be posting a video for the transparency tag. We did post the questions in the closed AuthorTubers Facebook group. If you would like to, please tag me in a video because I'd love to watch your answers. The reason that me and Katharine came up with this, and kind of when we were texting back and forth and coming up with the questions and figuring it all out, it wasn't just to be shady, by the way. It was also because we really see a shift nowadays in AuthorTube where the content for a lot of larger channels is starting to shift from a content geared towards growth and collaboration and honing your skill and honing your craft and just a sense of community to selling and marketing. And so really what we want to do is we want to make sure that, you know, if we're going to talk the talk, we're going to walk the walk. So I'm willing to be transparent with my small audience of 30 subscribers and tell you everything about my writing experience and training and everything else, so that when or if I offer products and services in the future, you can know exactly where they're coming from and support me if you choose to, with your eyes wide open, and make an educated decision. And so that is really the purpose of the tag. And I hope that any of you who are interested like to tag below. Let me know if you do, because I would love to hear from you guys. I'd love to meet you guys and become a bigger part of this community now that I'm sort of back on YouTube, which my comeback video will be like probably next week, which seems strange, but whatever. Anyway, y'all have a great night. Me and Rainbow Shrimp here, we're gonna have a good night, and I really hope that this ends up with a positive message. I hope that this ends up with a positive message, and I just want you to all know how proud I am for you, standing up and giving your opinion, whether you agree or disagree. I want you all to know that I think it is great that, you know, we have such a group of people with integrity and with strong character, and I just love you guys. Anyway, good night.